Welcome to Stories of Growth. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that resonates with many: kindness. It's a quality that's often celebrated, a key to building relationships, fostering goodwill, and nurturing inner peace. But what happens when kindness crosses a line? What if, instead of enhancing your life, it begins to tear it apart? Kindness, like any other virtue, must be tempered with wisdom and self-awareness. Without these, kindness can easily morph into something that's more damaging than beneficial, not only to ourselves, but also to those we're trying to help. The ancient Stoics, Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, were sharp observers of human nature. They understood that virtues, when taken to an extreme, could turn into vices. Through their teachings, they highlighted the dangers of excess in all things, including kindness. They recognized that unchecked kindness can lead to suffering, exploitation, and a departure from one's core principles. In this video, we're going to uncover 9 ways excess kindness can quickly ruin your life, all explored through the lens of Stoicism. Whether you're someone who struggles with boundaries, or simply curious about how Stoic wisdom can enhance your day-to-day interactions, this video is for you. As we explore each of these 9 points, we'll dive deeper into the nuances of kindness, examining how to strike that crucial balance between compassion for others and respect for oneself. Before we jump in, if you're new here, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more Stoic insights on leading a balanced, meaningful life. Let's get started. One of the quickest ways excess kindness can ruin your life is by turning you into a people pleaser. When your focus shifts from staying true to your principles to constantly making others happy, you start to lose sight of your own needs, desires, and values. The Stoics emphasized that our first duty is to align with our own principles, not bend them to accommodate others. Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." People-pleasing is a slippery slope. It often begins with small compromises, saying yes when you really mean no, agreeing to things you don't believe in, and taking on tasks you don't have time for, all to avoid disappointing others. But the problem is, once you start down this path, it's hard to stop. Over time, this pattern erodes your authenticity. You become someone who bends to everyone else's will, stretching yourself thin, losing respect for yourself, and creating a cycle where others come to expect you to always yield. This, in turn, makes it impossible to live in alignment with your true self, causing frustration, burnout, and a sense of being trapped in a life that isn't truly yours. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies in our ability to hold firm to our principles, even when it's uncomfortable. Excessive kindness can easily pull us away from this inner strength. It's essential to recognize that saying no is not a sign of cruelty, but a reflection of your commitment to living a life that's true to your values. By being firm in your boundaries, you not only maintain your own integrity but also model a life of principle for those around you. Excessive kindness often manifests as self-neglect. In your efforts to help others, you may find yourself sacrificing your mental, emotional, and even physical health. Seneca put it perfectly: it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. If you spend most of your time tending to others' needs at the expense of your own, you're squandering precious time that could be used for your personal growth, self-care, and fulfillment. The Stoics believed that caring for oneself is a duty, not a luxury. Self-care is not selfish. It's essential for maintaining the strength and clarity needed to be of true service to others. After all, you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you deplete yourself in the service of others, you'll eventually burn out, leaving you incapable of offering genuine help to anyone. This depletion often goes unnoticed until it's too late, until you're overwhelmed by fatigue, resentment, or a deep sense of dissatisfaction. Stoic wisdom reminds us that to be of value to others, we must first be in good health ourselves. This means setting aside time to recharge, reflect, and nourish our bodies and minds. When we neglect these practices in the name of kindness, we're doing more harm than good. The irony is, by neglecting yourself, you diminish the quality of kindness you can offer, leading to a cycle of diminishing returns where everyone, including yourself, loses. The Stoics advised caution in our interactions with others. Without discernment, excessive kindness can open the door to exploitation. There will always be people who take advantage of your generosity and willingness to help. When you're known as someone who never says no, you risk becoming a magnet for those looking to exploit your goodwill. Epictetus reminds us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. When your default mode is excessive kindness, You cloud your judgment and make yourself vulnerable to manipulation. In today's world, where boundaries are often blurred, it's easy to fall into the trap of giving too much. Whether it's at work, in friendships, or within family dynamics, there are always those who will take as much as you're willing to give and then ask for more. Stoicism teaches us to balance kindness with wisdom. While it's good to be helpful, it's equally important to be clear-headed and firm. Not everyone deserves your kindness, and it's crucial to set boundaries. By doing so, you protect yourself from those who seek to use you. Being overly kind without discernment isn't a virtue, it's a weakness. Learning to say no and standing your ground doesn't mean you're unkind. It means you value your time and energy. This respect for yourself not only protects you from exploitation, but also ensures that when you do choose to help, it's done with intention and care, rather than out of obligation or guilt. Another consequence of being overly kind is that people begin to expect more from you than is reasonable. When you're always available, always agreeable, and always willing to help, others start to assume that you'll never say no. This sets you up for disappointment when you can't meet those expectations. Marcus Aurelius offered a timeless reminder: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The more you give, the more people will expect. It's human nature, but constantly meeting others' needs at the cost of your own leads to frustration, regret, and even resentment. The Stoic approach focuses on controlling what you can, your thoughts, actions, and decisions. When you let others' expectations dictate your life, you lose control over your own direction. Excess kindness traps you in a cycle of endless obligations, which is not only exhausting but also unsustainable. You're left running on empty, trying to keep up with everyone's demands, while neglecting your own growth, goals, and aspirations. To break this cycle, it's essential to redefine your priorities. Stoicism teaches us that true freedom comes from within, from the ability to choose where we direct our energy and focus. By learning to say no when needed and setting healthy limits on your time and resources, you regain control of your life. You're no longer at the mercy of others' expectations, but instead, you're living with intention, purpose, and clarity. A critical yet often overlooked danger of excessive kindness is that it can lead others to lose respect for you, and, more importantly, for you to lose respect for yourself. Stoicism teaches us to be virtuous, but also to stand firm in our principles. When kindness becomes excessive, people may begin to view you as someone without boundaries, someone easily swayed and lacking in self-respect. This not only leads to others taking you less seriously, but can also result in outright disrespect. Kindness should be a strength, not a weakness. When it comes from a place of self-respect and principle, it earns the respect of others. The Stoic way is to be firm yet compassionate. This balanced approach ensures that your kindness is valued and that you maintain your dignity and self-respect. When you're overly kind to the point of self-sacrifice, you compromise your own values and weaken the foundation of your character. In any relationship, whether personal or professional, respect is foundational. When others sense that you're willing to compromise your own needs and principles to accommodate them, they may start to see you as less capable, less reliable, and even less worthy of their respect. Stoic wisdom reminds us that respect is earned not through endless generosity, but through the consistent practice of living by our values and staying true to ourselves. One of the most subtle yet damaging effects of excessive kindness is losing your identity. When you're always focused on meeting other people's expectations, you gradually lose touch with who you are and what you stand for. The Stoic principle of knowing thyself is essential here. Epictetus advises, know, first, who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. When your identity is shaped by the need for approval from others, you drift away from your true self. You begin to feel disconnected, anxious, and uncertain because your sense of worth is no longer rooted in your own values but in others' opinions. This internal conflict can lead to confusion, low self-esteem, and even depression. The Stoics teach us to be anchored in our virtues, not swayed by external factors. Knowing who you are and what you stand for gives you the strength to say no when needed and to prioritize your own growth and well-being. Identity is deeply tied to the decisions we make and the values we uphold. When those decisions are constantly influenced by others' expectations or by the desire to be kind at all costs, you lose sight of your true self. This disconnection can lead to a deep sense of dissatisfaction because you're no longer living authentically. The Stoic path calls for self-awareness and self-honesty, encouraging us to stay grounded in our principles and to live a life that's true to our inner compass, not swayed by external pressures. When you're overly kind, you may find yourself avoiding confrontation, challenges, or anything that could potentially upset others. But growth comes from discomfort, as Stoicism frequently reminds us. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." By avoiding necessary conflict in an attempt to keep the peace, you stunt your own growth. Real growth often requires stepping outside your comfort zone, setting boundaries, and engaging in difficult conversations. Excessive kindness keeps you in a state of stagnation because you're more concerned with maintaining harmony than with pushing yourself to be better. This approach might keep things smooth on the surface, but it comes at the cost of your personal development, potential, and long-term happiness. Stoicism encourages us to embrace discomfort as a teacher. It's through challenges that we sharpen our skills, strengthen our character, and grow into better versions of ourselves. By avoiding conflict out of an excessive desire to be kind, you deny yourself the opportunity to learn, adapt, and evolve. Kindness should never be an excuse for complacency. Instead, it should be practiced in tandem with courage, the courage to face difficult situations and grow from them. Constantly prioritizing others sends a subconscious message to yourself that you're less important. Over time, this mindset erodes your self-worth and confidence. Stoicism places great emphasis on recognizing your own intrinsic value. If you continuously devalue yourself by putting others first, you'll begin to feel unworthy, insignificant, and even resentful. Kindness is a virtue only when balanced with self-respect. You should be compassionate and generous, but never at the cost of your self-worth. When you learn to assert your needs, protect your well-being, and maintain your boundaries, you'll find that your kindness flows from a place of abundance rather than depletion. Your self-worth isn't tied to how much you give to others. It's rooted in your inherent value as a person. Self-worth is not just about confidence. It's about how you see yourself in relation to others. When you habitually place others' needs above your own, you slowly chip away at your sense of value. The Stoics remind us that self-respect is the foundation upon which all other virtues are built. By valuing yourself and recognizing your worth, you create a strong inner foundation that allows you to offer kindness without compromising your integrity or depleting your energy. Finally, excessive kindness can lead to a total loss of control over your life. When you're always saying yes to others, you end up living according to their schedule, their needs, and their demands. Your time, energy, and resources become devoted to serving others rather than advancing your own goals and growth. Seneca's words echo here. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Stoicism teaches us to take ownership of our time and decisions. By learning to say no and setting clear boundaries, you regain control over your life. You become the director of your own journey, free to pursue what truly matters to you. Excess kindness puts you in a position where you're no longer in control. You're simply reacting to the demands and expectations of others. This ultimately leads to a life that feels unfulfilling, directionless, and devoid of true purpose. Taking back control means aligning your daily actions with your long-term goals and values. It requires conscious effort and a willingness to disappoint others when necessary. But this is the path to true freedom, a life guided by your principles and aspirations, not by the endless demands of those around you. As we've discussed today, kindness is a powerful and beautiful virtue, but when taken to extremes, it can quickly become a source of harm, both to yourself and to others. The Stoic approach to kindness is one of balance, being compassionate without losing yourself, setting boundaries without guilt, and helping others without neglecting your own needs. Moving forward, practice the art of balanced kindness. Learn to say no when necessary, value your time, and never compromise your self-respect. By doing so, you'll find that your kindness becomes more genuine, impactful, and fulfilling, not just for others, but for yourself as well. Thank you for joining me today. If you found this video insightful, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with others, and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom. Until next time, stay strong, stay balanced, and remember, true kindness begins within.